If you need the water, check the beaches in the Carolinas. If you need the mountains, try the Appalachian Trail. If you need the redwood trees, gotta go to Yosemite. If you need me, 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 I'll be in Kansas City.
Welcome to Kansas City Limits Radio. We are here today with Kurt Allen, with the Kurt Allen Band, and his bass player, Josh Wright. Welcome to the show, fellas.
Thank you guys for having us. It's blessed to be here.
Thanks.
And Robert, why don't you go ahead and tell us who is sponsoring this show today?
We will do so. Thanks for all of our sponsors out there in the world putting together some music on Kansas City Limits. We want to thank KCRVs, the BBPA in Briarfest, Soundworks Recording Studio in Blue Springs, Abdullah Shriners, KCWE, the CW, Black Moon Media, Summit Video, Knucklehead Saloon, and S&S Editing. We sure do appreciate
Printing.
S&S Printing.
I guess they do some editing, but
yeah. So thank you to all of our sponsors out there. We appreciate you helping us put the show together.
Thank you. Thank you, sponsors. All right. Well, we are glad to have you, man. I've been listening to some of your tunes. So when I like a band and I like the music that they got out, not that I don't, I like most of the bands that we have on here. I shouldn't say that, but
I won't tell.
So I'll get their music if I don't already have it. I downloaded.
I saw. I got the email notification yesterday that you downloaded Live from the Red Shed.
Yes, and so when I like it, I put it on, and that's my music when I go walk. So yesterday I went and walked, and I got through almost all of it in about an hour and a half, I guess.
Okay.
Was how long I went, but great album. And I love the Red Shed. So my lifetime put me in Hutchinson for a year. Back in my college football days, I went to Hutch for a year before I transferred to KU. So the guys, actually, I think the guy that owns the Red Shed, Merle, right? He's in the family of the folks that I can't remember if it was Ken's Pizza or if it was Sub and Stuff. So these are two things that hit huge. Sub and Stuff was actually the first thing before Subways, right?
Okay.
So they put it in the bag and the whole deal. So tons of money in Hutchinson. The Dillon's family were out of there.
Okay.
But anyway, so that's that background. But those were my partying days. We'd go to that Cosmosphere there in Hutchinson and get all stoned and go in there and just, I loved Hutchinson while I was there. And of course, the Kansas State Fair is there. So
Okay. I wasn't aware of that.
But it was a good title. I haven't been to Red Shed, and I don't know what that vibe is like. But
The Red Shed is a very, very cool place. You know, so Merle owns it. Jeff Stevens runs it. He does a lot of the bookings and promotions and sound. Great people. Amazing little spot. We will be back there August the 16th, I think.
I saw that. I got it. I guess they're pretty excited that you named your album after their joint.
Yeah, it was kind of a funny deal. In the middle of COVID, you know, we were kind of Whiskey Women in Trouble had been out for over a year at that time, and management calls and goes, "What do you feel about doing a live recording?" He goes, "How about this Red Shed?" And I'm like, "Give me 5 minutes. Let me call Jeff." So I called Jeff, and he goes, "Absolutely." So within about 2 weeks, we put together the live recording at the Red Shed.
That's awesome. That is outstanding.
And how much time did you spend? How many takes did you do? How much investment of time did you do on that?
It was just, you know, we recorded it at the show that night. We had to go back and do some minor re-recording here and there and touching stuff up. Some of the vocals needed to be touched up just a little bit here and there. And then we sent it off to Muscle Shoals to have it mastered.
Feels good when you get something kind of like 90% made and sounds like you and comes out like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a great album. Great job. Great job.
Thank you very much.
Okay. These are the answered questions. We'll run through those. So thank you for doing that.
I'll take
Musical
note.
influences.
Oh man, so many, just so many. You know, my first memory of rock and roll or blues was probably Led Zeppelin. I was probably about 5 years old the first time I heard Heartbreaker, and I was like, "That's what I want to do."
Jimmy did it for
He
you.
was rocking in his diaper. He was like, "Oh yeah, this is it."
Well, I mean, that's the first thing that really kind of stuck out. You know, I remember being 3, 4 years old, and I would go on car rides with my parents on the weekends. My mom had this little 1979 Toyota, looked like a roller skate, like an Accord or Corolla or something like
A
that.
mailbox. It looked like a mailbox.
Looked like one of those little roller skate mailboxes or something like that. And I would, and my mom reminds me of this, I would curl up in the back of the hatch with my ear as close to the speaker as I could get and would just lay back there for hours while they were driving around going wherever.
Mom, go around the block. We're not done with the song.
Yeah, Casey Kasem, the top 40, listening to that stuff. Those are some of my earliest memories. And then we got into somewhere in my teen years, I discovered guys like Stevie Ray Vaughan and Alvin Lee and Rory Gallagher, Paul Kossoff, and of course, I had already known about Jimi Hendrix and Jimmy Page and Eric Clapton. But the more I dug, the more people I found. I was like, wow. And then somewhere beyond that, I started realizing what those guys were doing came from guys like Robert Johnson, Muddy Waters, Albert King,
Howlin' Wolf Jackson,
Freddie King, all those cats, Son House, So
BB,
the Kings, all three of the Kings.
Yep.
It's like that path took you to all that, and you've kind of smelt that and tried to put some of that with what you've been playing.
Well, yeah, with what I've been playing and just other influences as well. I've always been largely influenced by funk and soul, so I try to mix all that stuff in as well.
It's so funny when you say that because it's like, if you do like Ancestry and you look at all your genealogy and it says you're 65% British and so much this, so much that. Wouldn't it be cool if like you had a musical DNA, like, you tap something like you're 22% funk, you're 35% heavy metal,
That would be awesome.
There it is. I think, so listening to your music, I think I can hear a lot of that, those influences. I would say probably the most known or, mainstream, of course, is going to be Eric Clapton.
Right.
He is by all means the greatest, I think, that is. But, what he did was he took from all those influences. You can hear it in what he does.
Mm-hmm.
He has the Chicago, crying guitar licks. He's got that hard driving, Texas blues as well. I mean, he loves and plays all of that so well.
Got it all mixed up together. I've read an article or an interview many, many years ago where somebody walked into Eric Clapton's house and he was playing B.B. King songs lick for lick, just exactly like B.B. King would have. But then he goes out and he does something like Badge or, I Shot the Sheriff. He's so versatile, can go so many different directions.
Yeah. Behind the Sun with Phil Collins.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Another great one. Yes.
Oh, we could spend all day on that.
That could go for a bit.
But my point was, yes, your influences, you can tell. I mean, especially in this latest album. I mean, you give certainly a tribute to the Vaughns both, I think. But I can hear that Chicago blues in there too. I mean, you lay down some licks and you're crying. I mean, it's talking to you. They're good tunes. But I think with the influences that you have mentioned, I think that's what has blues, period.
Yes.
I mean, that's where we sit. It's probably, I'm a huge music fan. I like all kinds, but the older I have gotten, the more I have gone to the blues. And the more I can appreciate music, I think that's where I end up. So, all right, Robert.
When you're putting these songs together, I had the opportunity and the privilege to be on the stage with you earlier this year, and we did a show down at the lake. And
at Dog Days, was it the Homegrown Fest?
It was the Homegrown Fest.
Yeah, the Homegrown Fest at Dog Days Bar and Grill at Lake of the Ozarks. I don't remember what section.
Yep, they were down there raising money for Safe Harbor.
Yes, okay.
That's what they were doing. And Bob Ice down there at the Homegrown show. He
Good cat.
He's a great cat. The reason why you and I got an opportunity to be on there is because we write original music.
Mm-hmm.
And, so from a songwriter's perspective, when you're putting a song together, first of all, you're a multi-instrument. Do you play bass, guitar, piano, the whole nine yards?
Yeah.
So are you writing most of your music from your instrumental influence forward, or are you putting some lyrical influences and then putting the music behind them? How's your style go?
It varies. It's different. I might be having a conversation with somebody and we're talking about, how hot it is today. And somebody might come off with some smart-ass line and, hey, that'd make a great song. But then other times I might just be messing around on piano or guitar and just come up with this riff and go, I need to write something to that.
Right.
Most of
that is that most of it, the lateral, the music part first, or?
No, a lot of times I might just be walking around just having a conversation with somebody and a line will stick out to me and go, hey, that's a hook right there. I need to write something off that.
Well, on that topic, I got to know, man, in the songwriting, where was it that you were at that you came up with Shovel and Lie?
Oh.
I mean, those are some lyrics that you had to write down in some funky, weird...
I got a shovel and a bag of lye. Wow.
Yeah,
that kind of came from most of my stuff is based on true events. I don't really make. I don't
That's
really
why
make.
he hesitated. He's like, "This could be incriminating." Oh shit! I'm admitting right
now. No, I was going to say. Buddy of mine,
a buddy,
a good buddy of mine was having some issues with his marriage at the time. This was about 10 years ago, and his lady was stepping out on him, and it was just different conversations, bouncing stuff back and forth. He's like, I'd take somebody out, messing with my woman, and I'm like, shoveling a bag of lye, yeah. We can do that.
It's been known to happen.
There used to be 4 of you. There's only 3.
Yeah.
So crazy.
Jack who?
Now, when you got here before the studio earlier, before we started recording, you had mentioned, prior to it's just now percolating to where it was pre-COVID, but it's not all the way to COVID as far as the amount of shows you do. You said about 150 shows a year is what you were doing before COVID?
Yeah, from probably, prior to COVID, it was anywhere from 150 to 200 shows a year.
And what do you shoot? What are you doing now? What have you done this year? This is, in the middle of the year.
Oh, close to 100.
Okay. So you're getting there.
70 to 100. I'm not. I'd have to go back and look at all my books.
Well, I looked at what you had on Facebook, and man, you're playing all over the place. I mean, you're hitting Midwest heavy. I mean, but wow, that's a lot of shows.
And so we just came back. We just spent 2 weeks up on the Northeast, and then another week out in Deadwood, South Dakota, and just got back Monday from that.
That's the place to go, isn't it?
Today's Monday. Last Monday, we just got back.
And I heard you had an interesting van experience.
Yeah.
Tell everyone about that.
We took out Bambi.
You hit Bambi, huh?
We took out Bambi with
on the way to another show?
Actually, on our way back from a show. We had finished our show in Tully, New York. We were playing this really cool little spot called O & Co Fermentations in Tully, New York, just south of Syracuse.
Okay.
And we'd gotten about, we were like 18 miles from our hotel.
So close.
It was at 11:41 p.m.
Almost midnight.
Yeah. And there was 2 of them. Now, being from the Midwest,
Two deer.
being from the Midwest, just about everybody's hit a deer at one point in their lives.
Sure.
Yep.
I'd never ever hit one. I'd had many, many close calls and been able to avoid them, maneuver out of it.
Right.
This instance, like I said, they were, I want to say, probably yearlings. They weren't full grown, but they weren't baby.
Oh my God.
And they just kind of appeared out of nowhere. And I've got a habit. I stay in the left lane when I do nighttime driving.
Right.
Because you got a better chance of seeing them coming out of the median versus coming out of the ditch.
Right.
So I was in the left lane, and they just kind of appeared. One was already in the right lane, and the trailing one was just coming in.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, oh, no, what do I do here?
Right.
So my first thought was, maybe I can split them. And worst case scenario, dum-dum number 2 bounces off the side of the van. Starts swerving to the right, and I guess my headlights just caught it just right in the eyes. It squared up right in front of me.
Oh, my
Just mowed it right over.
Oh, man.
Smashed the radiator, busted out the front grill, headlights gone, turn signals dangling.
Wow.
So the van's still sitting, it's being repaired as we speak at a shop in Utica. So sometime next week, I gotta haul tail up there to Utica and retrieve our van.
Are you going to leave the deer head on the front?
I was just going to ask, so that, like that movie Black Sheep where the deer ends up in the car and it wakes up and is kicking around. Yeah,
that would be. I think I'm going to get some antlers and just glue them to the hood.
That's Tommy Boy, brother.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tommy
Yeah.
Boy. Yes.
Yeah. Know your Farley shows.
Hey, that was funnier than hell regardless. You know what I'm
Indeed.
talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Any other fun stories on the road?
Oh, there's so many.
Yeah, just give us a couple more. Give us some tasty ones. How about some that involve some women?
Not at my expense,
you know what we
hopefully.
could do? We could do one of those things where it's like, has that scenario happened? And we can tell you a scenario that the other 4 bands have been through, and then he can say if it's happened to him before or not.
Yeah,
No,
let's go
ahead.
let's go with that. Let's go with that route so we don't incriminate ourselves at all.
You have no
Yeah.
pants on. You've locked your car keys inside your car, and you don't know what hotel room you're in.
One of those 3.
Okay, see, we had a guy that had a trifecta.
Okay. One of those 3.
Well, that's great.
Okay, well, I think we'll move on. New music. So first off, let's talk about the Red Shed. Number 1, is that your logo or is that the logo for the joint?
That's the logo for the joint.
Gotcha.
The Red Shed.
That is cool.
I thought it was appropriate that I wear the Red Shed T-shirt today for.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And what's the history in the Red Shed? What does it mean exactly?
It's a red shed.
They didn't like slaughter pigs or anything in it,
No.
or have an art class that went bad. No.
It's where the prom that Carrie attended.
Okay. Something.
Yeah.
Okay.
So okay.
No, it's just a red barn. It was, like I said, Merle. It's out back at his house. And
I
it's
see.
the shop where he used to keep all of his cars. And about 5-6 years ago, they decided, hey, let's start a live music venue.
Cool.
And he had a red barn out back. The first time we ever pulled up to play there, I was like, man, are we in the right spot? When you're pulling in, I'm going, if we hear banjos, I'm turning around. About a 3/4 mile dirt road back through, just kind of weaves and curves around before it opens up, and you see this gorgeous house and the big barn. And you're going, okay, now we know we're in the right spot.
Now you know.
And he fills it up, right? I mean,
yeah.
it's just packed with people.
Yeah, it's packed
They
with people.
come from everywhere.
Yeah, they come as 100 miles or so away.
They'll come in from Wichita. A lot of people come in there from Wichita, and
Miles and miles.
Yeah.
it's a cool deal. Okay, so on that album, on Red Shed, you released that when?
November 18th, 22.
Okay, so it's been out, 8 months now?
Yeah,
8 months.
it's been out 8 months.
And I will say that I'd already heard, Voodoo Queen?
Yes.
Voodoo Queen. I'd heard that. I think actually you have a video out. I think that.
No, there's no video for Voodoo Queen.
Well, I don't know. Maybe was it on another album?
Yeah, Voodoo Queen was on the studio version was on Whiskey, Women, and Trouble.
Gotcha. Okay.
That was released September of 20.
So all of the songs, I mean, on Red Shed, I really could get into all of those. I will tell you the ones I picked and went back and listened to again today: number 6, number 7, and number 8, right in the middle there. So I know 8 is the one, the Death Letter, which has the shovel and bag of lie, right?
No, that's Better Think Twice.
Oh, that's better.
And I'm pretty sure that's track 9.
Okay. Then 7, I believe, was
I think that had to be Whiskey.
Whiskey
Women in Trouble.
And then number 6.
I'm terrible at remembering which ones
When
are
I Fall,
in what.
probably.
Yes. When
Okay.
I Fall.
I'm terrible about remembering which ones are which because I don't actually listen to my own music.
In fact, I listened to number 6 twice yesterday by accident because I'm thumbing through and I'm walking and so I went back and listened to it again. Good stuff. Okay, so new music. You got? Are you working on some stuff now?
Oh yeah, always.
All right.
The three of us collectively haven't really started working on a whole lot, but I've been writing. I've probably got 3 albums worth of material setting since at least 3 albums worth of material that I've written since the beginning of COVID. So
Wow.
Nice.
Wow.
Are you planning to get back in the studio with those? Are you this year?
Yeah, hopefully this year.
So maybe like a holiday release, or at least a few of them.
Possibly.
Nice.
That's
Let us know. We'll help get those things out there, man.
we haven't really locked down a day or time. It might be October, November before we go into the studio. So it might end up being spring of next year before we release anything. But
Take your time.
yeah,
I mean,
I'd rather do it right than rush it.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. Like, write for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to it. If it's good or not.
Yeah.
And sometimes people are like, "Man, my Kool-Aid's great. Don't you want to try it?" No, I don't. It's terrible. Leave me alone. so you got to know what that is. I was going to say just jokingly, if I was reading as I was reading your title of your song, I'm like, shit, there's some scary stuff going on there. Just with if I had never listened to your stuff, I'm like, this guy means business, man. Do not piss off the Kurt Allen.
Ow.
Yeah.
You're a lover, not a fighter, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So taking risk. Tell us about that. In music, you take risk.
Well,
Starting a band, you take a risk.
Starting a band, you take a risk. Going on stage every night is a huge risk. You're putting yourself out there for everyone to see, and you don't know. Like you said, write for yourself first.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if people don't like your music, you don't get rebooked.
No.
So
Good point.
it's that catch-22. Are people going to enjoy what I'm putting out there or what we're putting out there? And
Yeah. You have to have 1% of the planet love your soul.
yes,
1%. It doesn't matter what you produce. If 1% of the populace digs you, then they'll open their heart up to everything else you have to offer.
right.
And it's just weird that you have to gain the loyalty of that masses before you have the luxury of sharing them your true self of what you're trying to share.
Right.
Which is probably the real shit you wanted to do from the very get-go. I mean, oftentimes you'll be like, which song should I put out? Well, this one here's it's got more of a copacetic. It's not such a downer song.
Right.
But this one over here really freaking heals me in some weird way. So, it's just you have to make that decision.
Well, it's playing for the fans or playing for yourself. I mean,
Yeah.
when you're releasing an album, if you've tested them out and you're playing them live, I mean, you're getting a feel for that. I mean,
That's what I've always tried to do as well. We 90% of the time if something's going to be on an album, we've played it live probably for 6 months before it's ever going to be recorded to find out whether or not, hey, does the arrangement work? Does it make sense live? That way we can tweak it if need be instead of just going in the studio and throwing together a song.
Can you sit on a stool and play it, or do you have to be jumping around and play it? And getting
Right.
people out of their seats and getting them up on,
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just a reminder for everyone listening there at home, you're listening to Kansas City Limits Radio, and we're here with the Kurt Allen Band, interviewing Kurt Allen and Mr. Josh Wright, his bass player, We sure do appreciate you guys coming to the studio and sharing your story with us.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Thank you guys very much for having us.
Thank you.
So on the music, obviously it comes into play too when you're getting ready to put out some new tunes. You got to know that you got a good band behind you, right? And
Absolutely.
So with Josh and who's the drummer?
Greg Schauberg.
Greg Schauberg.
Mr. Schauberg.
And these guys are going to, they've been on tour with you all year.
Yep.
And going to play it out. And so any creative that you put down, they're going to be backing you?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, they'll definitely be backing. And so once we, the stuff that I have now, I can't say it's finished. Of course, in my opinion, a song is never finished. A lot of the stuff that Live from the Red Shed, it's got 4 songs, I think, from the first album in 2014. And a lot of the arrangements are entirely different than what they were when they were first recorded.
Different drummer and bass player?
Yeah. And songs evolve. To me, they're a living, breathing organism.
Yes.
You might play it one way for a year and then you hear something go, hey, let's try that instead.
Yeah.
And it turns out to be better. Sometimes you go, nah, that didn't work. Let's go back to the other way.
It's funny how that works too, because you'll pick a song apart.
Yeah.
You'll over critique it, and you can't do it. We were talking with our last artist we had here, Casey Bones, and one of the things that they were describing was that you can't force it; it's got to come from you naturally.
Yeah.
And when you have that, then you have that song.
Yeah.
You don't have an over perfected song. You don't have a song that's so raw no one understands it. You just have, now I've got this. Do you see it?
Yeah.
It's glowing. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's ready for your ears. So yeah, absolutely. We want to talk a little bit more about what you were just discussing there, or you want to move on to what instruments of preference we got?
Well, I'm good. I want to just touch base. I mean, on the band itself, we've got Josh Wright on bass and vocals. Again, Greg
Schauberg.
I better spell that.
Schauberg.
And he's not well. We wish him well. We hope he gets better soon.
Get better, Greg.
We'll send you flowers after the.
Does he does he back up on vocals?
Yes, he does as well.
Okay. Well, I will say that the two of them in this latest album, you guys play off of one another very well. You and the drummer, the bass player, and the drummer need to play off of you, as you well know. So you got a good beat behind you,
right?
So you can do what you do. Okay. As talking before on some of these topics here, you'd put down living life to the fullest, and that. Give us a little. What for? Why are you thinking that?
Well,
yeah. What's the deal?
Your life? Or?
I mean, why you want to do that?
My life, anybody's life. I realized a long time ago that I can't handle sitting in an office or punching a clock. You're wasting valuable moments, seconds, days, months, years of your life for someone else. It's not the easiest life what we do, but in my opinion, it's so much more gratifying.
Are you living life to the fullest?
I feel like it.
Good.
I think so.
Well, if you're happy on stage, I think the people notice, don't you?
Well, yeah, it radiates. If you're, you can people can tell that you're into it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's the difference between some people trying to get a weekly smoke in a smoky bar gig versus, I am Kurt Allen. Do you not know who I am? I am playing for your total entertainment, and I'm synced into trying to make you understand I play great music.
Right.
And there is a tip jar.
Yeah. There's a tip jar. Let's talk about that tip jar. So you've got a website. You got merch there.
Yep.
They can download your music in all the popular places.
What's that website, Robert?
That website is Kurt Allen.
Music.com.
But you don't have your music there to download? Is that what you were shaking your head?
Thanks, Kurt.
It was like an echo.
Yeah. No, our music is music, T-shirts, CDs, everything is on our website for download. We're on Spotify, Pandora,
Apple.
Yeah, Apple, Amazon, YouTube.
Let's talk about YouTube for a second. Audio versus video.
Okay.
Those two components. What do you like the best? I mean, do you see more action when you're doing something on a video platform versus the audio platform, or vice versa?
Yeah, I think I see more from YouTube. I see more feedback from videos.
Okay.
From the shorts and actual like concert. I try to record almost every show that we play.
Right on.
And I might spend a few nights each week editing live video footage. And when I say editing, I set a camera up and it's recording constantly.
I see.
So I don't do much tweaking to it, audio or video wise. It's just clipping.
Right.
Just going down and clipping. All right, there's a song.
Separating
there's a song.
it. Yeah.
Separating it. But even that, it's quite time consuming. But yeah, I see more traction and more feedback from the video side of YouTube. Now, I haven't really dug into the metrics or the science of
Sure.
the YouTube music side to know for sure. There's so many things out there for an artist to keep track of.
It's a constant.
Yeah. Bands in town, Spotify, Pandora, Apple.
All these
YouTube.
systems harass me constantly. You
Yeah.
need to put something. Hey, did you put something? Have you put something? So I try to stay in front of it, but it's hard.
You've got a great site, though. I mean, I'm looking at it now. I mean, you've got, and do you stay in on top of this? Do you have somebody doing this site for you?
No, that's pretty much all me.
That's you. Well, dude, you're doing it right, because I'm going to tell you, obviously, we talk to a lot of bands. Some don't have websites.
Mm-hmm.
I find that if you're banking everything on Facebook, you're missing the boat.
Yeah.
So, but yours expands into all kinds of stuff. And I'm going to actually kind of take that into, you've got, you want to tell us a little bit about the guy that is helping you to book Larry?
Oh yeah, Larry K, Night Train PR. He's our manager. He's doing a lot of behind the scenes work for us. He's set up quite a few different interviews here and there. And then we've got our actual booking agency is the Phoenix Artist Agency, Lou Phoenix down in Punta Gorda, Florida. That's a tongue twister.
Is Larry a KC guy?
No, he's out of Philadelphia,
okay.
Pennsylvania.
How'd you hook up with him?
Right before Whiskey Women in Trouble was released, he actually contacted me. He goes, "Hey, are you looking for any kind of PR with this?" And I was like, "Well, I've already got publishing and promotion under control with that." I used Frank Rozak to promote the Whiskey Women in Trouble album. And he goes, "Well, do you need management?" I'm like, "Well, yeah."
Sure.
So, he offered to do management for us. And, it's 2.5 years now. We've been in a business relationship there.
Good collaboration.
Yeah.
That's good.
He's looking out for you then?
Yeah, he's looking out for us as a group and myself, and he's helped with some sticky situations here and there, and got things straightened out. And
sticky situations.
We've had.
They were eating donuts.
Yeah.
Shovel and lie.
Yeah.
What's your preferred instrument of choice?
Oh, probably guitar.
The guitar.
Yeah, probably guitar.
What was your first instrument you picked up?
Piano.
Excellent.
Me too.
You too? Excellent.
Yeah, piano was the first.
How early did you pick it up?
I was probably around 7 or so when I first started playing piano.
I got him beat kindergarten.
Really?
And then shortly after that, transitioned over to guitar, probably 8, 9, something like that.
Very cool.
Family? They they all musicians? Any of them
Not
musicians?
not all of them. About half of them. You know, my uncle, Larry, he's passed on, but he, my mom's little brother. He got me started playing guitar. I've still got his 1971 ES 335 that I learned to play on.
Very nice.
Right on.
And first song I ever learned to play on guitar was Johnny Be Good. He was teaching
Chuck
me
Berry?
that one. Yeah, he was teaching me that when I was about 8 years old or so, playing a cherry red 71 ES 335 through a 100-watt double stack Fender amp.
Wow.
And it's like, yeah, this will work.
Are you still playing that
This
guitar?
vibrates.
I still have the guitar.
Don't play it.
I play it from time to time.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a sentimental deal. I try to take care of that. You know, occasionally I'll bring that out for studios and stuff like that, but I try not to take that one on the road.
Sure. That's a good story.
You know, when you were talking earlier, the first song was Johnny Be Good. I hear that come out of a lot of musicians, and then the other song is Smoke on the Water. Someone needs to combine those two songs. Johnny Be Smoke Good on the Water or something like that. I don't know how, but
Johnny got smoked.
Johnny got smoked on the water.
Yes.
I love it. There's a song right there. All right. Again, today we have Kurt Allen with the Kurt Allen Band and his bass player, Josh. Again, we're glad to have you guys on here. We'll kind of wrap this up here in a minute. And you guys, did you bring any instruments?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe play a couple tunes for us. We like that. Again, Kurt's website is kurtallenmusic.com.
Yes.
And also you can find him on social media on Facebook and Instagram. And if you guys have not heard Kurt Allen's new release, The Red Shed.
Live from the Red
Live
Shed.
from the Red Shed.
Live.
Go check it out. I purchased it. I think it was Spotify, maybe $9.99.
Yeah.
I don't know where I got it, but I think I listened to it on Spotify.
I think it was Amazon. Because I don't think you can actually purchase stuff on Spotify. I think Spotify is just streaming.
I think mine just automatically goes
Yeah.
into my Spotify. I think
Okay.
is how. I don't
Just
know.
streaming on
But
Spotify.
If you haven't, go check that album out. It's worth the listen. It's one great song after the next. Okay, let's talk about your accolades. So I saw that on your website, but I'll let you kind of follow up that on what the band has received.
We were after 2020 when Whiskey Women in Trouble was released. We were nominated by the Independent Blues Awards for Best Blues Rock Song. Graveyard Blues was nominated for Best Blues Rock Song. We were nominated for Best Blues Rock Band and Best Modern Roots CD, I think it was. It's been long enough, I don't remember exactly which ones, but we were nominated in 3 categories in 2021 by the Independent Blues Awards.
And that's post-COVID. So
Yeah.
there was a lot of people coming out with some music in that year. So that's got to be thrilling.
Yeah, it was, and I don't know if Live from the Red Shed will qualify for 23 or 24. I'm not entirely sure. I'd have to go back and look because each one, we released it late enough in the year that I don't think it would qualify for 23 or 20. I'm sorry, 22. Because it didn't release until November the 18th, and most of your cutoffs I think are like September the 30th.
Is that when the nominations start?
Well, no, that's it rolls over to the next year. Like
Gotcha.
September 30th.
Anything after September falls into the next calendar year.
Yeah,
So when do they start nominating for 23s then?
probably the end of this year.
Gotcha.
Probably late September, things will come out and say, hey,
Okay.
even though it was released in 22, it probably wouldn't, the award cycle wouldn't be the 23, so it'd be late 23 before we find out if we've been nominated for anything or not.
Well, and I think too, as you were telling us earlier, your schedule is crazy. So that means you're touching all kinds of parts of the country, and in doing so, people get to listen to you.
Yeah.
Coming out of COVID, right? You were, it would have been a little different story, but I think that's going to help as far as getting, all corners of the country that know Kurt Allen music, and people I think are going to be able to help that get potentially a winning tune.
I hope so. That'd
Now,
be great.
It only takes one.
Do you follow your tunes like Robert does?
Not really. I really don't. Again, I've got so much stuff going on with track and everything that I don't really listen to my own music. It might be once a month that I jump on and I'll check stats on stuff, but I've never really put a lot of stock in that. Also,
It's hit or miss. I will tell you the cool thing about a couple of the services, like DistroKid, for example. It'll tell me down to the zip code who downloaded my music.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm going to plan my gigs and my shows, and I've got predominantly other places that are digging me more than other places, I'm going to go there instead of throwing my dart.
right.
So that's what I found interesting. I also have seen, if I talk a lot about at our shows where you can download our music, I can see a difference the next day or a couple of days after of how many people downloaded from that night.
Okay.
Versus me not saying a freaking word and just saying a couple things. I can tell there's much less of a download. So there is some sort of algorithm, some symbolicness about mentioning it, seeing it, and doing it. And it's also, too, who's listening to what. There are some songs, it's like no one's listening to that song, so I don't think that's the genre I should be putting out there. So that's another way to look at it. When you were talking about filming yourself, I was going to ask you, it's probably been beneficial to see what you're like when you film yourself because you made some critiques.
Well, yeah. Just critiques for everything,
Yeah.
I start figuring out, all right, that's not a song we should be doing live.
Right.
Or, hey, this song's really good, but it could use some.
Needs another papa.
Some more fine tuning or something like that.
Right.
Or, hey, we need to work on harmonies on this song, because, the camera doesn't lie. And neither does its microphone. As musicians, on stage, we hear one thing. Out there, it might be something completely different.
Yes.
Yep.
Totally.
So that's why, I've always tried to record shows to go back and go, all right, this is working. This is good. This needs to be fixed, or this is almost there.
Right. Needs go
So
back to
close.
percolating. Yes.
Right.
Let's see. What is worst show? You have a worst show that you've been at that you can remember that you talk about?
That we've played?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, we'll take the pressure off you. Maybe just the whole circumstances of the show was jacked.
Oh, there's
The Hard Rock?
there's no such thing as a perfect show.
No.
There's no such thing as a perfect show. Every show has its little hitches, little glitches.
Yes.
You just work to get through them.
Yes.
If I learned a long time ago, if you kind of let some of those nuances or the things that are bugging you about a show stick with you, it's going to bring the rest of the show down.
Yes.
So, best thing to do is just
Shake it off.
shake it off and try to have fun.
As Taylor would say, shake it off.
We've gone the Taylor Swift route.
She's
Oh, man. I knew that was going to come in.
She's coming up. She's playing
big week,
Kansas City
Robert.
this week. Yeah.
Like I was saying, the best thing that I've realized is just have a short memory.
Yes.
Because if you dwell on it, the crowd is going to start to realize that you're not having fun. That becomes that much more hard to keep them entertained.
Sure, yeah.
And you can't. Most of those things are out of our control.
You got
90% of the time, it's something out of our control that we have no control over. So you just got to roll with it.
My friend Bob Garrett, he says, "Don't sweat the small stuff, baby."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, give me a deal that went down that was a nice, colorful, shitty deal that happened to you guys. Those are always good topics.
Colorful, shitty deal.
Something that you remembered.
Oh, there's
With me?
a colorful shit. Well, our van situation is still a colorful, shitty deal that's still being played out.
Okay. But not at a show. You've not had anybody throw something at you.
No, I've never
run
had
off
anybody.
the stage.
No,
Your ex-girlfriend showed up.
no.
None of those.
I think the closest
No,
we've
I
had
haven't.
was when we were in Albany. We were playing Paulie's Hotel, and there was this guy that was coming up beside the stage. He had this 3-string upright bass, and he's just kind of motioning to me, showing it to me, and he was obviously trying to get me to see if I could play it. And I said, "Hold off." But that wasn't really bad. It was just
Did you play
it
it?
happened.
You can't
I
start
couldn't
that
tune that
precedence.
thing to shit.
Yeah,
Did he play it?
No.
He wanted to, though, didn't
Someone
he?
come out of the crowd with a kazoo.
Yeah, we get that a lot. People want to play with us, or people come up and go, "Hey, I play harmonica. Can I get up and play with you guys?" Or I'm a guitar player, I'm a bass player, I'm a drummer. Can we get up and play shows?
It's
play
so
with you
hard
all?
because it's so
I've
hard.
seen that happen a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so hard because some of those people are truly, truly awesome.
Yeah.
But the narcissisticness of them wanting to interrupt your show when you're trying to perform a function that you've been hired to do,
Right.
is not. It's not their professional moment to be asking.
Right.
If it was in the basement with a bunch of friends or backyard patio, that might be a little bit of a situation.
Right.
So,
And 90% of the time, I'm sure you've seen it. It's some guy that's 3 sheets to the wind.
Totally.
He's already cocked back quite a few.
yes.
And at that point, it's so insanely difficult to get through people's heads that, listen, we're sober. We're professional.
We're in time.
Yeah. and they're like, man, I'm really good. I play all day long. You're like,
Mow.
yeah, we're on a different wavelength, man.
Hey.
Yeah.
We have Kansas City Limits will be featuring the Kurt Allen Band. We have you scheduled on September 19th at the Knuckleheads Gospel Lounge.
Oh yeah, we're looking forward to this.
Yeah,
That's gonna be a blast.
Yeah, we've done a couple there now. Frank has made that available to us. It's got good sound. It's just it's a good vibe. We're getting Frank's backing us completely. He sent me an email. I think Saturday, maybe I got it. And he's like, well, we're going to go ahead and put you on the calendar and, wanted all the dates and stuff. So he's really getting behind this deal.
That's great.
And so in the last show we were at, I told you, I forgot to take down the banner.
Yes.
He left it up.
That's good.
And so then I got to see the next show that we're filming at the Gospel Lounge.
It's permanent.
That's exactly right.
It's the Kansas City Limits room now.
That's right. But the show was actually they were filming was Carl. Carl Butler, and Dennis LaFoon, and Terry Hancock. So,
Dennis LaFoon.
But we're excited about that. I'm glad that we could finally get a date, you and I, to put that together. September should be a good fall day. But yeah, we're excited about that. So yeah, let's go ahead and take us out, and then we'll listen to a little music.
Thanks to everyone that's been listening there at home and across the world. Share the information about Kansas City Limits to your friends, your family. We need to have people listening to our programs. We sure do appreciate it. And remember, be good to yourself, be good to others, and be good to those musicians that have impacted your life. See you at the next Kansas City Limits Radio.
Amen.
It's a little tune called Sweetie. Sweet tea in the morning, sweet tea late at night. Sweet tea in the morning, sweet tea late at night. Don't come home, she's still dreaming right. She's my little lady, I'm her loving man. She's my little lady, I'm her loving man. Don't come home, she still understand. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, even on Sunday too. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, even on Sunday too. 7 days a week, can't stop loving you. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, even on Sunday too. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, even on Sunday too. 7 days a week, can't stop loving you. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, even on Sunday too. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, even on Sunday too. 7 days a week, can't stop loving you. A tune called Sweet Tea, that's off of Whiskey, Women, and Trouble. It was released in September of 2020. So next number we're going to do is our newest release, was on Live at the Red Shed. It's a little tune we call Bad Love.